Trax FX was developed by Sculptured Software and released for the Super Nintendo in 1995. It was one of the few games that used Nintendo's Super FX coprocessor chip, allowing for 3D polygon graphics. The graphics here in Trax FX are decent for a system released in 1991. Motocross tracks by their very nature are fairly simple and a good fit for the limited capabilities available. The detail here is good, with plenty of large, chunky, flat-shaded polygons that represent a dirt track perfectly. Your bike and opponents are all 2D sprites. The frame rate isn't terrible either, chugging along between 12 and 15 frames per second. Overall, I like the look of Trax FX. It doesn't look as good as 3D titles on the Atari Jaguar or Sega 32X, but I like the look of chunky, flat-shaded polygons. Unfortunately, the graphics are the high point of the game. The sound is pretty poor. The music tracks and engine noises are all acceptable, but some odd design choices were made that kind of ruin it. When you are in the lead, you hear the music of whoever is in the lead. So if you are in a heated battle for first and you are trading places, the music is constantly changing. Not only that, every time you pass someone or get past, there is a weird horn noise. When you combine this with the changing music, you get a really annoying audio experience. The controls are simply okay. Everything is responsive enough, but the loading and unloading of the suspension is pretty wonky. It can be hard to reliably make it over jumps, and sometimes you'll come to a near stop, even though you thought you were going to sail over an obstacle. This leads me back to the track design. The first track is called the Big O, which is strange to begin with, but it's literally 15 laps around an oval. It's tedious. The remaining courses are much better, but still not great. Despite your rider being small and there seeming to be plenty of space, everything feels really cramped and it's all too easy to accidentally go over a barrier or drive into a wall. I've played and enjoyed some bad motocross games from this era, including both Motocross Championship on the Sega 32X and Supercross 3D on the Atari Jaguar, but something about Trax FX just feels off. The artificial intelligence is poor. Basically, everyone on the course is brain dead, except for one opponent. Trax FX features rubber band AI, so this one opponent will always be right in front of you or right behind you at all times, and it's just not that much fun. Trax FX has a couple other modes as well. There is a rad tag mode, which is just a racing version of the schoolyard game Tag. If you have a friend that is a glutton for punishment, there is also a 2-player split screen mode. Trax FX is a technical achievement for sure, but I can honestly say I don't really like this one. It's far from the worst game I've ever played. That honor goes to Checkered Flag for the Jaguar. Everything here works. The graphics are pleasant, the sound is acceptable, and the controls aren't broken. But Trax FX is just not very fun to play. The first few minutes are intriguing and show promise, but then it never really gets any better. Trax FX is a great showpiece for what was possible on the Super Nintendo with this Super FX chip. But in 1995, the real next-gen systems were right around the corner. As a retro game, I can't recommend playing this one. There are plenty of motocross games that are significantly better. 2 out of 5.